So thanks for coming. Good morning, everyone. Salam alaikum. We are here with a fantastic panel. I see 6 extra successful women coming from different backgrounds. I think all different countries, different culture, different languages, and to address a topic that is, I think, extremely important under many aspects, the unsung heroes of the telecom industry, of the whole in wholesale industry. So I will hand over the word perhaps to our keynote speaker, Virginie Holebach. Did I correct pronounce?
Perfect, Stefan.
Vice President of Siena. Please,
Thank you so much. Yours. Thank you so much, Stefano. But first of all, I still have I don't know how you feel, but yesterday evening was fantastic. Thank you so much for Zoe about the fantastic gala dinner. Personally, I was amazed to see the passion and the joy and the commitment of Marine Band yesterday. That was a very high. So thank you for that, Huda. So, Stefano, you are leading this panel, and it's all about, I would say, diversity and inclusion. But actually, I was very pleased to see, and if there is a first slide, I don't know if you noticed the title of this session. Can we show the slide on the screen, if you don't mind? Yes. The Unsung Heroes of Wholesale Telecom. And actually, I don't know, how many of you do know the movie Hidden Figures? Does it ring a bell? Yeah, good. So this is also a book. And it's all about 3 or couple of women, but this movie features 3 female Black women who made a fantastic impact on the space race. And why I felt that it was relevant, and actually the name of the book, I will read it, it's called The Untold Story of Female Black Women in the Space Industry. And this title is pretty similar. The reason why I think it matters to us today, it's because it's all about innovation. We are talking about the wholesale telecom. We are talking about something which is very competitive, which is very technical, which is about performance, but more importantly, which is about societal impact. I was pleased to hear the previous panel was about subsea repair, cable, and maintenance. How is it more? It's currently impacting our industry. 99% of internet is on the subsea cables. So what I'm saying is we collectively have a lot of impact in the society. So you heard me yesterday talking about AI, and it's not a taboo word. AI is not a busy word. AI is already here. This is another generated AI picture. And, we created a couple of key important words to generate what the future could be around AI. And you will see a lot of great landscape, a lot of diversity. But the point I'm making is we should not be taken diversity and inclusion for granted because of AI. AI will have a massive impact in our industry in the future, and especially in the wholesale telecom. So I think personally that diversity and inclusion is more important than ever, and we should not take that for granted because it's still a big topic. And the way I would like to cover a couple of ideas with you, it's not a gender, not only a gender, but it's also a multi-generational. In the wholesale telecom, we have a lot of fantastic experts, but if you look at the age of all of us as experts, we need to make sure we prepare the next generation. So the way I will cover the next couple of minutes with you is really about this kind of also young talents we need to attract and also we need to retain. So I'm a fact-based person, So we did a research at Siena about AI, and because it's a nascent market, everyone is talking about it, but what does it mean for service providers? So we run a survey about 1,500 service providers just to capture a lot of data points with them. But one data point I have captured for this session is the fact that 67% of the communication service providers really anticipate AI to be a force for job creation. And if you look at the split of the job creation and the areas, it's really about, of course, cybersecurity, it's about machine learning, it's about programming and coding. So when you looked at programming, coding, or machine learning, let's keep in mind that AI is created by humans, by us. So we have worked with a fantastic lady, who is a student from Oxford University. She's in the 20 years old range, fantastic lady. And actually, her research is about how we can avoid encoded bias by AI. Because if AI is created by humans, which is the case, we need to make sure that we are not perpetrating biases in what we will develop. So I'll give a couple of examples that I have extracted from her. One easy example to understand is the notion of bias in the voice assistant. Actually, it's true. Voice assistants are biased, especially with female voices, but also some young voices. So it's a bias that we have to, together in the machine learning and in the decoding and development piece, we need to figure out. There is another bias that we need to be aware of, which is about hiring. Actually, Unilever have used a company, leverage a company named HireVue to optimize the hiring process, making cost savings, which is good. That's also what AI is about efficiency, operational efficiency. But because it's hiring, they realized that some biases were embedded in the tool, and actually some nuances of the analytics were biased and didn't bring all the CVs to Unilever at the level they wanted. So you got the point. By the way, there is also very good things with AI, which are not only bias. It's about the role of AI in education. I heard Eric before talking about education. He's absolutely right. So we have a fantastic leverage about AI to facilitate the education. So the way we would like to together in the room is how we, and I'm accelerating because I think you got all the messages, is how we can make sure that we create this diversity and inclusion situation. You have a lot of data points showing that a diverse team impact at the executive and the profitability of a company is absolutely boosted by diversity and inclusion. So 25% more profitability for companies with diverse leadership, or even something which is more closer to the region MENA in terms of there is an expectation that 57 GDP increase can be leveraged with gender parity. So it's collectively something we can work together. And I wanted to come with some ideas that I worked with young talents. We have at Siena Nashwa in the room, and I worked also with some young talents in the UK, because there was an event in the UK in the BT Tower for a Subsea event. It's called Wave UK. And Gayatri, who is a lady in the middle, I worked with her to pick her thoughts about Gayatri how can we join forces to make sure that we attract and retain more talents? She said very important thing. First, please ask our industry to showcase the industry's impact. And you know, the fact that 99% of internet relies on subsea, this is just a very important impact, because young talents, they want to understand the purpose. And I think the wholesale, we have a fantastic purpose because we are impacting the society. So we can attract talents with that. The second piece was, she said, Virginie, please, can we make sure that as an industry, we can share very great stories? And in the room, I'm sure you have all great stories about a travel with a cable in a cable landing station where we waiting a cable for hours and hours, or something with a collaborative environment with different players. So those kind of stories that she called unique perks is very important for young talents to understand how they can replicate. It's all about role model. The other thing which I think is important, yesterday, Yasser explained the notion of ambassadors from Zoe, which I found very, very good. This is a notion of programs, because young talents, they really like programs where they understand and they can project themselves. So at Siena, we have launched this notion of early in career, but we need all together as an industry to make sure that we can make this early in career program relevant to them. And it's all about collaboration, it's about cross-mentoring, it's about sponsorship, it's about having experiences in other companies. So it's a call for action, but in Europe, we are working with already with 2 companies where we are making work experience. I would like to do the same in the Middle East. So if some of your companies are interested in having work experience exchange, I would love to make that happen, because then we can have different experience for our young talents. Last and not least, she said, Virginie, this kind of panel and session will be also the area, the arena where we can share ideas and take ideas from each other. So in short, in conclusion, I think all of us were absolutely aligned to the fact that having a inclusive, collaborative environment is important. Personally, I'm very, very passionate about young talents and how we attract, whatever the gender, those young talents in the wholesale and in the telecommunications industry. More importantly, how we retain them, because we have, let's say, a lot of competitors, even outside the industry, that will be absolutely keen on taking those talents. And with AI, I think it's more important than ever. So Stefano, I think that's a good segue to give you the ball again. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Virginie. What an interesting talk. Really, I feel privileged. I feel a bit the odd one out today, but I feel privileged really in moderating this panel. And you came across with really some interesting points. So working in a more diverse environment is so important, not just in terms of lifestyle. Working in diverse environment gives us great opportunity to grow, because we learn by growing, by diversity, but also in terms of economics for the company. So what is what I call X factor that, let's face it, here is 6 super successful women talking. What is the X factor that women bring into the different companies or governmental organization that creates such a huge difference?
You want me to start?
Yeah, please. It's an open question for all the panelists, but yeah. Start with you.
I'm a Marvel fan. I don't know if you know X-Men. No? So the X factor, I think it's not one X factor, it's multiple X factors collectively, and it's not a gender topic. I think it's all about leveraging the genius of each of us to make sure that collectively we can make an impact. And for me, collective genius means different, diverse thoughts. And that's why we need also men sponsoring us. So for me, the X factor, it's to have men and sponsorship and allyship of men, which, by the way, has been fantastic personally, because if I'm very passionate in this industry, it's because I had a lot of men sponsors. So what I'm saying is, it's not really one factor. It's just all of us. We can contribute and make an impact, but we need to have some sponsorship at one point.
And diverse contribution obviously contribute in a different way, so they build up. You can build just on difference. Ekaterina, what's your experience in that sense?
I was thinking, coming to this panel, about this specific question, what is our X factor? And three things came to mind. One is intuition, the second one is empathy, and third one, lifestyle, work and life balance. I think these are the three factors. If you think about a woman, this is who we are. This is what we bring to the table. With intuition, we come to our conclusions sometimes very fast, much faster than you guys. The issue is that you have to trust that this might be a worthy idea that you may want to explore in a standard logical analysis. And the other two is changing your work environment. It may improve your staff retention. It may just make the environment more friendly, because people will come and talk about what is happening at home. You know, women like to emphasize, we like to commiserate sometimes, and sometimes it's important. Sometimes you want to have a human touch, especially in our very technical engineering environment, and I'm a technologist. So that's why I think what we bring to the table.
Thanks a lot. You use a word that is resonating to me is trust. And obviously, when you're living in a diverse environment, trust is very important. Difficult to give. You can build on trust. It's like, the cement. So Huda, what do you think? How difficult is to build trust in a diverse, culturally diverse, gender diverse, language diverse organization?
I believe that
I know Zoe is a diverse organization.
Yes, it is. I believe the X factor that will bring trust, especially for women, is our high emotional intelligence. So we understand people. By nature, we like to support, and we work from heart. So we like to make things done. And this what will bring the trust of the decision maker to us as well.
Fantastic. Ekaterina, what's your take on that?
Thank you so much for amazing panel. And I really want to start with words of gratitude, to use this opportunity to thank Oman Zoe, to thank career community and this beautiful country, Oman, which is very diverse culturally, by the way, as many of Gulf countries, and very beautiful. It's a pleasure being back to here. And also, I want to pay credit to the male representation in the room. We have a full house of guests, and thank you so much for supporting us and supporting our panel. This is the most important to see and to observe. So if I may start with the X factor and answer, I think for me, it's an answer like having a balance in everywhere. So the key to success, one of the keys, coming from the financial background, balance is very important everywhere in our private lives and in our workforce. So women have soft skills and technical skills. We are diverse, but we need to have equal opportunities to use those capabilities. And it comes to the balanced work environment, lifestyle, work environment. And I think that also another part is diversity is also in finance. Diversifying portfolio is very important to be risk averse. Also diversifying your major asset, the workforce, is very important, because with fourth industrial revolution, we need more creativity, more creative talent. So this is, I guess, the most important part of having diverse environment, including the women in diversified.
That's a very interesting point. We understand diversity in terms of investment, but quite often not in terms of company executive layout.
Human capital is also very important investment. Thank you.
Noha, can I ask your point of view on this?
X factor is not only for, this is general, not only for a man or a woman. I think everybody who loves his work from passion, and if we all be genius and do what we love from our heart, and if you like what you do, and we should not go for the money, but you should go for the job itself. If you're passionate, and then I think that is the X factor for everybody to be as successful in whatever he does. And the little difference between men and women is that I think men will go for the money and women will go for the job that she likes and that she really can make a difference with. And that is the thing with intuition.
I don't want to be in the spot. Don't shoot on the piano, man. But, yeah.
And women are less paid than men, okay? And they do twice as much as men do. But that's okay. That's okay. But I think the X factor is indeed, again, men and women, love your work, do what you really, anything what you do it from your heart and believe in what you do and do what you believe in. And I think that's the X factor.
Thank you, Noha. And I met Batool yesterday, and she seemed to reflect exactly what you said, Noha. I met her, we handshaked, and she seems so passionate about her job that was really, mirroring what you were just saying. Please, Batool.
I think we can say that that's the age probably. It's too soon, so the passion is very much there. So I don't know if down the line, 10, 20 years, I wish to have the same passion. So
You will, I'm sure.
So I really liked what Virginie said in the beginning, and because for me, when I joined after graduating from school, from university, I joined END, and I had 3 mentors with me, and 2 of them were men, and 1 of them were women. So one of the men told me that, they were very experienced in their domain and what they're doing, and I used to see them like as real mentors. So he just told me that, Batool, take the best out of 3 of us. From 3 of us, take the best thing and make it your own. So one of them was really good at, let's say, presentation, public speaking, things like that. One of the lady, she was really good at negotiations. The third mentor was really good at, let's say, analysis and data. So for me, I was just like, let me just take whatever best I can grab and then make it my own. So when we say what is the X factor in women or men or in general, I think it's creativity and being dynamic. Why? Because like you said, that we are really living in an environment which is changing every day. Maybe I don't have kids, but you all have kids. So the way, our parents spoke to us and the way now we speak to our parents, to our kids, because we have a nephew and a niece now at home, it's very different. And I think we really need to be extremely creative in the problems that we are now facing, because these problems probably did not exist back then. So we need to have new frameworks. We need to make sure that actually we have enough people with different walks of life to speak up. So from different age groups, from different gender, from different walks of life. And then I think we can have an interesting conversation, because then opportunities are endless, I think. Thank you.
So I'm sensing another topic that is coming recurrently in these answers, that is the mentoring. So all you 6 are extremely successful women. And I'm sure there was one moment in which you decided that yours was not a 9-to-5 job, sort of push the ticket. You really had wanted to put a sense of purpose in what you're doing. Obviously, otherwise you would not be here. And typically this is coming when you had a strong mentor that help you to reach where you are. And I anticipate my next one. Who are you mentoring right now? So I would like to ask you, who was your mentor? Who is the person who would like to say thank you, and who you expect the person to thank you in 10, 15 years?
Well, my experience was more, if I go back into my early career or education, I would compare it to Marines. That was the training. It was not about making you graduate from college. It's making sure that if you cannot study physics and engineering, you will not graduate from college. The same, I joined Bell Labs. It was the same crowd, very, very smart people, very, very tough. And it was about, do you belong? Are you in or you're out? It was not like specifically for women. It was the same for all of us. We were all the young people in the same boat of, figuring out how we survive. So I was promoted to director's role. I was early in that position, didn't know the skills, didn't know how to manage projects, how to manage people. And the first project that came my way was one of the first field trials on transatlantic cable. I came to my boss and I said, I've never did it before. How can I do it? What do I need to do? And he said, you're a big girl now. You know how to run. I fund your project and I want to see the results. So that got me running. Just his trust that I will be able to do the task, that I will be able to organize the project, find the people, with having his support and his trust. And so that's how I got myself running.
And who are you mentoring now? By the way,
I joined in Infinera. We have women.
Note.
I'm sorry?
Small pride note, Nokia Bell Labs.
Yes,
Nice.
Nokia.
Joke aside. Who are you mentoring? Because we all take, a sort of a will. We receive and then...
So today I'm with Infinera. In Infinera, we have Women in Infinera Network, where you can sign up as a mentor. So I'm just starting on that path. I signed myself up, and we'll see what happens.
All the best. Virginia, I know you are very passionate about mentoring the newbie.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
discovering new talent, obviously, because that's part of the mentoring, obviously. You don't mentor non-talent.
So first, there are two aspects. From my side, I really separate the notion of mentors and coach. And sometimes we mix both, but it's very different because a mentor is something, what I think is for a life, meaning that you have created a connection with a human, and this person, it's a safe environment. Where a coach, you can be intentional of, I want to move to this. I want to expand to this skills, finance, whatever. And then you're taking someone who is good in that domain and who can help you to find this path to the goal. So what I'm saying is, for me, mentors, it's a real special piece. And actually, I had three important mentors, but I didn't realize at the time that they were my mentors. It's only, I'm 50 plus now. When I look back, I say, wow, those three people and three men had an impact on my life, on my career. And I'm still in touch with them. And I'm very grateful for the decision or the opportunities they created and seized for me. So because I reflected on that, for me, it's absolutely important to give back. And I have the chance to be in a company where mentorship is very important. So we have what we call a Thrive Mentorship Program, which is a global program where we create mentees program where it's very intentional. And yeah, I'm lucky to have, let's say, a lot of great mentees. And I learn from them. It's really, you need to, in a mentorship discussion or relationship, I think it's both sides. It's like a bridge, it connected two people and they really matter to you and you really matter to them. So for me, it's all about creating this bridge together. So I think it's important to give back. Yes.
Thanks a lot. Great. On my left side, Huda. I sort of following a
Yeah.
path, but please, let's keep it fresh and open conversation.
Yeah. So I remember before 5 years when I met, I had the interview with Sohail. I was coming back from Paris. I finished my master degree. And then Sohail told me, like, we want you to be in our team. And I was like, Sohail, I don't know what you are doing. What is Wholesale? And from that day, he said, you have three things that I'm sure that you will excel. And with knowledge, support that Sohail Johannes gave to me. And I believe everybody knows them. Everybody knows that working with such giants is very difficult and very challenging. So yeah, this is a special thanks to Sohail and Johannes for what I'm become right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me call it also role models. For me, I had different role models, and I think this mentorship or role modeling starts from the very early age from our families. And my first role model was my father, and he was a physicist. And because of my love to my father or other different reasons, I decided also to take this path. So my first education was physics, and he was always encouraging me, saying that if you are equally hardworking, the opportunities open equally. So this was my, how to say, first mentorship or role modeling takeaways. But as I grew up, I had a lot of, I would say, more male role models and more male mentors supporting growing me as a female technology expert or leader. And I'm so grateful. So this again goes back to inclusivity and balance. If we started from the early education, from our families, schools, kindergarten, saying this, the natural balance of having both genders or all the represented society balanced, it brings us to more stronger than capabilities, and it opens the opportunities for us. Also, I had another role model, which I've never met because she lived in different age. This was Maria Curie because of my choice of the career. But yeah, I'm always trying to find some role models and how to say good practices to follow. And also about the mentorship myself, always whatever career path I take, I'm trying to find in my environment people to grow the successors, for example, for my position, to find people who are stronger than me as an experts. This is how I grow up as a mentor. So this is the key takeaways. I also try to be more represented now in international platforms. In International Telecommunications Union, there is a special network of women and women in cybersecurity, and it speaks a lot about bringing more female leaders in telco, specifically leaders, which is a big gap in our sector. So this is how I see it.
Thank you.
For me, mentorship, I started in this industry 5 years ago, which was a totally new industry for me. I didn't have any experience in this industry. And I was so lucky with my management team, Peter van Burger, our CEO, and Mike Baron, our CCO. But also at the beginning, it was very hard because knowing all those ISP, CDN, a carrier, and a carrier can be an ISP, and ISP can be, so I thought the first half year, what I'm doing here, I'm going back to my software where I was knowing everything, knowing everybody, and know what to do, managing a whole team. And now here I'm nothing, I don't know anything. But Peter saw that, and he literally took me and said, okay, you're gonna sit here, I'm gonna support you. And he coached me the first year, 1.5 years. But I'm most lucky also with our partners and my customers and the region that I'm taking care of or supporting. They took the time, or they're still taking the time, because I'm still learning. Every day I learn a lot, to explain things to me, to take the valuable time and sit with me, explain it to me. So I'm so lucky with our partners, who some of them are here, our team of MENA-IX, Manama, we manage also Manama, in Manama, Ms. Batelco team, taking the time and explain to me everything with Manama-IX, and Telecom Egypt, you know, they have also a lot of things to do for sea cables and everything, but they take the time and sit with me. So really, I'm very lucky with all those mentors from the industry, men and women, by the way. So it's not only men and women. And of course, you know, I'm originally from Egypt, live in the Netherlands, and my parents immigrated when I was 8. So I think that is also something that you get to work for your money, and to know how to support yourself and to do something. You know, that is also, my parents are my role models to make me all this opportunity they gave us. So yeah.
Thank you, Noha. Just to put myself in the middle, one of my mentors was a woman, and I still remember just one sentence. You know how we all say, "I don't have time. I don't have time," and she kept repeating, "It's never a matter of time. It's a matter of priority," and that's one of the mantra now became for me. But sorry, just wanted to be a bit in the middle and showing how women, mentor also men. Batool,
Yeah.
I think you declare yourself too young to still have, mentoring other people, coaching other people. What's your experience?
So I sometimes, let's say, get jealous of these graduate programs because I didn't come from one. So I'm like, I wish I knew this then. And I wish that there was someone after university to tell me that these are the graduate programs or mentorship programs that you need to get in at, let's say, at the big OTTs or the big telcos or whatever industry you choose for. And I think that's what is important when we are finishing our education. For me, it's a little special case because actually the family I come from are all business owners. So nobody does a 9-to-5 job. So it was also from family, there is no, like, your parents cannot tell you, okay, this is the way it should be. My father is a business owner. My uncles are business owners. So the business side of things was always in all of us in the family. But in terms of, let's say, very structured corporate, or let's say, like what we really like in the workplace, what happens in 9-to-5 was not there in the family. So there was this kind of like a gap that I felt, but then it worked somehow, I would think, in my advantage, because when I joined, I was supposed to already be doing something, and I got time to actually spend a lot of my days with experienced people. So I was sitting with directors and this and that without, like, really, sometimes I would think that what they're talking even about, because I just cannot relate. I would order junk food and they would really be like, one day you will not be able to eat this. I'm like, what are you saying? So I think I think mentorship is really important. And I think that it really sets you for life. But again, what Virginie said was really important, that there's so many people in your life that come and they act as a coach, as mentor. You meet someone at dinner, or these amazing ladies, and then you somehow feel like they actually somewhere or the other, have an impact. I would also really like to thank EN for my time there. Nabil, he is today the head of department at EN Wholesale. And I think when I had my interview with him, when I came out, I just said, I just want to be this. I don't know what it is, but I want to be this. So I think that these are the people in your life that really leave an impact. And when I was also reading about this topic, at what Orange does. And our head of sales, which is a very male, let's say, high stressful, let's say, job. It's true. And the head of our global sales it's a woman. It's Anne. And whenever I look at her and the poise she has, the charisma she has, and she's managing all these men. So I'm like, okay, there you go. We have examples. So I'm very grateful actually to be in these places and really learn every day, actually. On giving back. So when I see the Gen Z, well, I'm just on the, let's say, on the edge of Gen Z and millennials, so I can relate to sometimes both. So when I see the Gen Z new graduate trainees, I always just tell them one thing that I felt, that it's okay to feel lost. It's okay that you don't know, but what you need to know that it's important that you have this seat. So don't think because I'm here, just because, okay, it's a graduate program, we need to be there. No, it's very important. Your perspective, what you're gonna say really matters. So it's fine. You should own it up. And that's what I say.
Thank you. So I was thinking, in terms of diversity, not just gender, but overall diversity. And by the way, in this region that is fantastic in terms of diversity. I mean, I think that in this conference, there might be easily, 80, 90 different nationalities, 40 different languages, different culture. So we really are in a melting pot. And I tend to see that society and the telecom industry has gotten better in the past 25 years. What's happening in the next 25 years? Is a good trajectory. We are in a, nice slope. Can we do better?
So if I had a crystal ball, I would be very rich, because actually women like money as well. Just
perhaps. Sorry, Eugenie.
Believe me. But what for me, when I look at the future, for me, I believe in our industry, of course. I believe it's all about making sure we create this multi-generational environment. We are all attending a lot of conferences, Subsea conferences. It's amazing the expertise we're having in our industry, but we need to make sure that we have the next generation, and it's all about attracting them. And that's why now my priority as a leader is really to make sure we attract, we retain, and we understand the attributes, what the young generation is about. And I really believe that it's all about the sense of purpose. And that's why it's important to create this sense of purpose as an industry. And I really believe we're having an impact on the society with our industry. And as I said, with AI, we're going to have even further an impact on the society. And I think that can attract a lot of talents. Now it's about how we retain them, how we make sure that we are competitive against other industries, how we are, and that's where corporate companies or private companies, we have the responsibility to make that happen. So that's where personally I spend a lot of my time in terms of having the right programs to make that happen. And it's all about sharing ideas. I took the ideas yesterday evening about this notion of ambassadors. I think it's brilliant. So that's together where we can get all those insights. Collectively, we can be better.
I strongly believe that. Yes, 100%. Ekaterina, is our industry going for good? Perhaps you can differentiate, your hope and what you think is happening.
Our industry is very competitive. The environment very competitive. We have certain tasks that we have to do to stay alive as a company, right? And there is a tendency inside many companies that I worked for just to go for the execution. And when you go for execution, you tend to sometimes forget about need of diversity. And I want to bring the AI example here, because AI will be, as discussed today, the dominant force that will drive the society forward. So my daughter-in-law was observing me for quite a while, me working in a male-dominated environment, being an engineer. She's a poetess. She's a complete opposite from me. So she was observing me for a long time. I got interested in AI, started using Copilot, started to create all this art that is now you can go and it comes for free. And she brought by the following idea. She said, you know that all the programmers who program AI, they are very homogeneous crowds. There's almost no diversity in the software community. So the program is an AI is a program. So the program they create tends to be, has a certain side to it. So if you start to play yourself, you may notice it. What you ask for, some pictures, some art, and it creates you something that a young man can think about. I asked AI to create a vision of a new call center. And of course, there were all the pretty girls sitting, punching on keyboards. So we have to be very careful with where our future is going, how these programs are created. Take time to train AI. It's now available. I believe there may be talks about this today from Amazon. They are all looking for trainers of AI. So it's we girls will have to go and invest into it to be sure that this new future created by AI will be something that we want to live with.
That's a very interesting point. And I think that Virginie's number also proved that strategically, if you want to be successful in a competitive environment, you must create diversity. If you don't, you will stay back and you will accelerate your failure.
Yeah, I believe currently and in future, we should embrace the diversity, the differences between us, the diversity in gender and within gender. I always tell to my team, I'm a bit known that I'm pushing them out of their comfort zone, but because I'm dealing with 8 employees in my team from different countries, different nationality, and everybody have their strength. So the right leadership should differentiate or try to get the most benefits from those strength. And as you see, I believe everybody was attending yesterday. Our Generation Z were also supported. Diversity is not only gender, it's also regarding ages. And I totally believe that we need to be like a chameleon, where you change your skin based on the surrounding. We need to change our approach based on the surrounding. If I'm dealing with women, then it will be different. If I'm dealing with Generation Z, I don't know if Ali is here. I believe Ali is not here. So Generation Z, normally they really run fast in the couple of months, but then they got tired. You need to keep supporting, keep motivating them. So you need to, I truly believe on this, that I need to be like a chameleon, changing my skin or approach based on the situation.
Thank you. Thank you. Ekaterina.
So I hope that next I don't know in how many years, but for next 25 years scope, we will not need the panels like this anymore, because we will become inclusive society from the gender perspective and from the generally human beings perspective. All the underrepresented groups will be included in full in our societies. So this is my first hope for the future. And to go back to why it is important, we speak a lot about the AI, generative AI, about the future with robotics, and we know that many operational jobs will be taken by AI. This is very good for humanity, but also it is a challenge. So we need to be go back to our creative nature. And I think that diversity is the environment which supports a lot creativity and stronger human beings. It's, I guess, scientifically even proven that diverse environments are usually stronger. So this is my takeaway.
100%. And perhaps we are focusing a lot of male, female, but I think it's very important that we are here from different nationalities, different language, different countries. So it's yes, creativity is fostered by diversity.
We have at AMS-IX in Amsterdam, we have 28 different nationality working for AMS-IX. And I think we are almost 50-50 men, women, but it is good to have a diversity and equity is embedded in our people and culture program. But also we are working globally. So we have diversity in our customers and our partners. So we need to deal with all those different, diversity, cultures and countries. And we have done with our partners, because we are working, of course, for our customers. We did with our IX as a service partner, so the powered by IX locations, as scenarios that we did for ourselves, how we see the future for internet exchanges and internet in the future, indeed with AI and all this new technology. And we have invited all our partners to Amsterdam and to have a look at it from their point of view, from their perspective, because each of those countries have other history, their culture. So it was also very interesting to get these insights from other cultures also in your future plans for your company and how we see the world. So diversity is number one at AMS-IX, definitely.
So how many nationality you count in Amsterdam IX? 2 nationality or 1?
Me, myself?
Yes.
I'm Egyptian with a Dutch passport. I'm Egyptian all my life in the Netherlands.
Heart is Egyptian. There. Batool.
I think you ladies have done an amazing job for the young generation to come and, actually have to be in a place where now I think things are better in terms of men and women, at least. I don't think that's the problem. Even government-wise, policy-wise, I don't see, when you go outside, you do see many women, you see many men. I don't think that's the problem. But probably what I would say is that we need to put, what Ekaterina said, that we need to push women to get those technical skills, to build them, and to push them on into being leaders. That's what I think is missing, because yes, you can be among, let's say, the program manager, let's say the operational marketing manager, but if you don't have the seat at the board, or you're not the one making the policy, or you don't have your voice, not only from a men and women, but that environment has to be diverse, because that's where actually the outcome is coming from, really. So I think this is what we need to do. You wanted to say something? So I think this is where I think we need to empower, and Orange, I was just looking at the numbers, and it's true, France is a very it is pro women, and we have 34% women in leadership roles. So work is there, but I think in wholesale generally, I think we need to a bit work on that, and get that visibility, probably. Yeah.
Thank you. So before we close, and we have such a beautiful foyer of attendees, I'm sure that among this there are a huge number of executives. I would like to ask a final round, perhaps starting from you, Batool, with a tweet. Otherwise, no more. Otherwise, the boss there will kill me. Just a tweet. What is a recommendation you would feel to give to the executive listening us?
I think as
foster diversity and creativity along with that.
I think as a human, we have to be less judgmental. It's very natural for us to be judgy and to be like, from appearances, pre-notions that we know, to be like, okay, this is it. I have it's natural. It's nothing wrong in that. Okay, it's natural. But I think we need to learn how to unlearn that, actually.
Dropping the stereotype.
Yes, dropping the
Dropping the
stereotypes.
stereotype.
And also being very open to something which is different than what you know. So it's okay to disagree, and it shouldn't be a problem. Confrontations also shouldn't be looked at as a wrong thing. I'm someone who doesn't like to have a very difficult conversation. So if there is a difference in opinion, I'll be like, okay, whatever, you're right. But I think sometimes it's okay to have a different point of view, and it's okay for others to understand that that's it, that's what it is. So I think that's
Fantastic.
what I would say.
Noah, just a tweet.
What I would like to say actually, it's a message to all the male in this room. Next year, please sit here beside Stefano, because he's the only brave man in this room, sitting, doing this panel with us. I would like to expect and to invite you next year to sit here and to talk about this topic. This topic is not our topic, it's also your topic. So please come and sit here next year.
Thank you, Noah. We checked if they had knife or guns before. Please, Ekaterina.
So my tweet would be just simple as it is, that together we are stronger. We need to be kind to each other, open-minded, open-hearted, competitive.
Thank you.
Yeah, from my side, again, embrace the differences between us. Trust is a must, and active listening as well. Active listening to gender, to age. We are all in the same table, and we will be successful together.
Thank you.
I will be short. Be brave, ask more, don't take things for granted.
Thank you. Be curious, yes. Virginie, last word on you.
Maybe to think of someone which is younger than you that you could help, whatever the gender, and that we can really fast track to have a future leader in our industry.
Put me in your list, Virginie.
Thank you. And on this note, I must say, I really enjoyed moderating this panel. I thank you for your thought, for your passion, for your ideas. And I want to thank all the attendees here. And thank you.